Hello, what up everybody? Welcome to another Alpha X show match. I am very excited this Sunday evening to be casting a TVP show match between two of our very best players. Today we have Psych versus Sonny, and this is going to be a very exciting TVP match between two very long-time members, two veterans in the clan. And this is going to be a ton of fun. Just got on. Okay, and we are already underway. Not much of an introduction, so I already have to change the scene. But we are underway. Hope everyone's been having a good evening and is ready for this very hype matchup. Like I said, Psych and Sonny very evenly matched. I believe on ladder they are only one MMR point away from each other at this moment. And two very long time members of Alpha X and previously Psych. And long-time GMs, so they've got a wealth of experience combined. Both players have a wealth of experience, and will combine to make this a very, very fun TVP. TVP is quite a fun matchup, And we have no game sound. Or it is very low. Let me adjust that real quick. There we go. Should be better. Thank you, Sniper, for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Just got a resub notification right before we went live, and for the bits, and Vindicta as well if you're watching this. Thank you for watching. Okay, in the top corner of King's Cove, we have our Orange Terran player, Psych. And at the bottom, the blue Protoss player, it is Sonny. This is a best of 7, so we will be doing standard ladder maps with loser pick. And before too much action gets underway, I'm going to link the Matcherino page. So be sure to follow that link and use the coupon code to donate to this event. Alright, so I'm excited to see what these guys want to pull out. Sonny and Psych, you know, I haven't seen a ton of them recently, but back in the day, both these players known for just solid mechanics. I mean, they're solid GM players, so of course their mechanics are going to be quite solid. Not known to be especially cheesy, and that's something I'm looking forward to, seeing a fun macro best of 7. Although the state of TVP recently has been having a lot of Terrans whining, so we'll see if how these players adapt to that. Looks like Sonny opening up with an Adept, chronoing that, but it looks like the Reaper's gonna get here in time to get enough scouting, and actually gets a probe. Got very close to dying there. Sonny aggressively pulling probes before the Adept popped. So nice damage with the Reaper there, but will be pushed back by this Adept that's coming out now. Ooh, Sonny has his Adept cross map, that's why he wasn't there to defend the Reaper. And did it delay? Okay, got one SCV, he's gonna get these 2 Marines, so nice play there. The 2 more Marines popping out here should be able to shut that down. Not a 1-1-1 from Psych here, going into his second racks. And establishing his natural. Right now, I'm actually going to turn the music down a little bit. Can't hear myself think. There we go, that's better. Additional gates going down for Sonny in the natural, forming a little bit of a wall there. And the choice of tech for him is going to be Blink. Now, Psych snuck another Reaper in here, so going to get a full scout of this. Oops, we are having some choppiness. Boy, that didn't last too long for the players. Yeah, so Psych got a full scout of Blink, and he knows what's coming. So currently, 3-gate Blink Robo play out from Sonny right now. And for Psych, we've got a Cyclone and a tank out. So looks like he may try to do a little bit of a push cross map with that. And does Sonny have any intel on what's going on? He is trying to move in with an Adept here, but that got shut down by the Cyclone. Nice pick off there from Psych, keeping Sonny in the dark. And now this is on King's Cove, and I've seen a little bit of debate from different players, and I can't remember all the reasoning between taking 3rd position here or here. I'm sure it changes depending on the matchup, but Sonny choosing to go for the high ground third expansion, and I do feel like that is the easier to defend expansion, of course, with the ramp, downward facing ramp. Got Marauders coming out. We will have 2 medevacs on the way shortly. And I'm thinking that it is going to be a drop. That dropped. Okay, no, I'm wrong. There we go. Starport's going down. So a drop incoming. There is an observer here, though, from Sonny. Seeing the force and smartly moving away, as I'm sure Psych is going to be watching for that observer. And wouldn't be surprised if we see a good scan here. Sonny adding in more gates, double forage here. So going into a full 3-base gateway army. We haven't seen what he wants to go for in terms of secondary tech here. Beyond Blink Stalkers. Whether he wants to go for Storm or Immortal. Even Disruptor Colossus play. We will see. So the push is coming from Psych here. And he is up about 20 army supply. And we've got a double drop coming in here. And he's going to, I think, push with the other force to put a little bit of a contain on the other base while the drop goes in. We do have a probe putting down a forward position pylon out on the map. That may scout that army. Looks like it's going to be out of position for that. We do have an observer here. We'll see that army coming in here, and if Psych isn't careful, Sonny could pounce on this. That's a lot of Blink Stalkers, although he is leaving himself open to a drop. I think he may sense that here. Okay, big drop going up into the main. This is a very long travel distance for Sonny to move here. Now, luckily, he can blink up here with some of the Stalkers, but actually isn't able to get all the Stalkers in that blink off. This is going very poorly for Sonny. Meanwhile, there's an engagement happening on the third. The forces of Sonny trickling in. He really got outpositioned by Psych there. Psych having a very effective drop in the main and doing very well with that force pressuring the third. Sonny was able to snipe the tank, but the forces of the Marauders still at the third doing a lot of damage. It's a lot of sentries here engaging this army. He's going to lose all of them. It's a lot of gas going down the drain, and he's warping in more units, desperately trying to defend, but I think Sonny just got really cleanly out multitasked there. Or not out multitasked, but out positioned. Unfortunate for Sonny. We have Widow Mines there as well. Have not gone off yet. Adding for the difficulty of, with this blink, the army of Sonny, which is all blinking. And he blinks forward. Could be quite disastrous if this were a normal game. But I think Sonny, yeah, is just going to die here. Should see a GG any moment. And that was just a very smart play from Psych. Drops coming in at the same time. And I thought that Sonny was going to pounce on the army a little bit earlier. He may have been looking for a drop, but just didn't see it coming, and then didn't commit really cleanly one way or another to either completely defend the third or go for the drop. So he ended up doing minimal damage to both of Psych's attacks instead of cleaning up one. Unfortunate for him there. And this is going to be loser pick, so we'll see what Sonny wants to pick here. Thank you, Snoopy, for the 50 bits. Much appreciated. It looks like the pick is Kairos. Having Psych create the lobby just so don't mess up the server. Hope you've been having a good weekend, Snoopy. Working tirelessly in the background. And we're going to be ready to go here very shortly. How do you... Okay, I need to get out of arcade quickly here. There we go. That would not be good if I was in arcade. Snoopy says he is ready for Game of Thrones. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of reactions about Game of Thrones being not quite living up to the fans' expectations. It's one of those difficult things, is that when you hype up a TV series so much for so long, that the expectations get extremely high, and expectations get extremely high, and it's almost like it's impossible to please all the fans. But I've been hearing a lot of fallout from the fans' reactions to this last season on Twitter, and it's not been pretty. I think, of course, splitting up the final season into 2 halves might have increased the expectations for the last season to be extremely good even more. And I wouldn't be surprised if that goes down in history as a really infamous move. But life goes on, even with TV series not quite living up to expectations. And we're going into game 2. So that's got to be, in terms of the mental game here from Sonny, got to be a frustrating loss to lose to something that sort of, not a minor mistake, but just one mistake, and then the game is pretty much over from that one instance, and not really getting a second chance to work your way back into the game. Well, Tao Search, I can't read. Tao Search, like to give the first couple minutes a little bit of casual conversation, because there's only so much you can make out of the opening couple minutes. Anyways, as I was saying, Sonny's got to be frustrated here in terms of how that first game went. And looks like we're getting some stuttering here. I'm going to ask the players how bad it is after the game. Could be just me, could be, we'll see. Hopefully it's not for them. Try to finish my thought. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see throughout this series Sonny being extra precautious against drops, against sneak attacks, seeing more spotter pylons, more forward positioned observers. We've got our Twilight here, and Twilight into Robo, okay, off of 1 game. So I was not paying attention to the timestamps. I'm wondering how that, I forgot to see exactly how that timing differs from last game. And we see again, Sonny, instead of playing it safe and just waiting for the Reaper to come and then killing it with it. Oh, he loses an Adept there. Brutal. And, okay, I'm missing out here. This is a 1 racks push. No, this is not. This is a 2 racks. Okay. And Sonny, again. This is some sharp cheddar from Psych right now. We've got a bunker rush here, and the 2 Adepts were actually placed in a decent position to funnel the units of Psych through that gap. Are pretty low, and they're fenced into a corner here. The probes have been pulled. The Adepts are going to fall here, and with all these Marauders and concussive shells, it looks like this one is going to end badly again for Sonny. That's completely my fault for not paying attention. Well, as I was saying, that's going to be even more frustrating for Sonny to lose 2 games in a row to something like that. And Psych has no shame. He must have heard me say that I was expecting and hoping for some solid macro between these 2 players, and then just said, you know what, screw you, Gorg. I'm gonna blaze my own trail. So we are moving to Port Alexander. So get your boats ready, guys. We're going to the port. And will Psych continue his Terran shenanigans for a third game in a row? I hope not. I hope we get to see a little bit of a drawn-out macro game between these players. And we have replies both in the channel and the lobby. And I have to switch scenes again. Oops. There we go. I'm going to link the Matcherino page again, so be sure to follow that link, guys, and use the coupon code to contribute to this event. In the top corner of Port Alexander, we have the blue Protoss, Sonny. And at the bottom, we have the orange Terran. It is Psych. Both of these players hailing from the west, I believe. Don't quote me on this, but Psych is from Idaho. So I believe what he said a while ago. I know that because he said that his school, well, he went to school there, and that his school was one of the few college football teams that has fields with bright blue turf instead of green. And I think that's the coolest thing ever. And when he said that, it made me really excited that he went to that school, because I obsess over weird things like that. Probe getting in here, just making sure nothing weird's going on here for Psych. Sonny is on high alert this game, as he should be, because Psych is showing that he's not afraid to do anything to capture this first place. The probe is leaving in disgrace with 3 Reaper shots left, now 4. And it looks like he's going to try to keep that alive. And the Reaper looking for the probe. I'm going to find it here, though. And the probe sneaking back in, and this time, did Sonny... Where did he send his first adept? Okay, the adept is still being made. But I think he's going to have it at home in time for... He's going to have it at home in time for when the Reaper gets there. And especially because Sonny was able to sneak this probe back in here. Psych had to pull the Reaper all the way back. So now Sonny should be just fine against this Reaper play. Especially as there is no cliff up on Port Alexander. Soccer being produced here as well. And Robo, no Twilight. Or Robo first, not Twilight. Is that a cliff for the Reaper? Doesn't look like it, no. Ooh. More gates being added, and it is Observer. First from Sonny. And, ooh, the Shade up here almost gets in. But Psych with the Clutch Depot raise will not let that happen. We've got Widow Mines and a starport being built here as well, guys. This is going to be, I believe, 90% certain that this is going to be a Widow Mine drop. But Sonny is looking to play a bit cheekily as well, as a War Prism almost finished here. Remember, no Twilight Council. Oop. This is going to be a Robo Bay. Okay, so maybe a Disruptor drop here from Sonny. This would be quite interesting if he did that. And the Warp Prism moving across the map. I think he's going to wait for the 2 Disruptors. So we've got Disruptor drop versus Widowmine drop. This is going to be pretty crazy, but the Observer is flying in here, so we'll see that. The first Medevac come out here. And if he goes into the natural, he's going to be able to see the Widowmines, but does not see them. So he doesn't know exactly what's coming, although he should be slightly suspicious of a drop. Fortunately, that Observer moving into a bad position there is not going to see this coming. And Warp Prism speed being researched for Sonny, and he's building a Colossus now. He is supply capped. That's unfortunate. So it's going to be a 1 Disruptor drop and a blanking. So, okay, we've got the Stalkers very out of position here. So it looks like, unfortunately, Sonny is going to be caught blindsided by this drop. Again, now it is a Widowmine drop. If he pulls right now, he's not going to lose any probes. Oh no, Sonny, please. Lost 7 probes there. Very unfortunate. And will he be able to get anything done with this Disruptor? There's not a ton here at home, but this is a kind of a weird time for Protoss to be attacking with something from the Warp Prism, so it could catch him off guard. Now he's going to try to go into the natural here. That is very heavy saturation, so that could be very strong. But he needs to move in now before too much more is produced. Here is the Disruptor. Can it land the shot? And yes, it can. Get 7 workers. So now they are on parity, at least for workers killed. Thank you, Romsley, for the host. And thank you for watching, man. Hope you've had a terrific weekend. A Viking is out, though. So now this Disruptor is a sitting duck here. And he's going to try to go in for another pass. Although there is a siege tank. And gets another 3 SCVs. Not bad. We have Sonny supply capped again. Seems like his macro has been disrupted by that multiple times by that supply cap. He's expanded to a 3rd here. And does have a worker count lead with that Disruptor harass being effective. And where is that Warp Prism? Here it is. Psych is hunting for that. He's got to be careful he doesn't lose that Disruptor. Looks like, yeah, he might have to head home here, as this is well defended, a well defended natural with the siege tank here. Not going to get much luck dropping a Disruptor in there. So, Stalkers and Disruptors are going to be his force for now. And he's going to try to go into the main with this Disruptor. Can he get a nice worker lead before the attack of Psych pushes? The push is coming out here, and we'll see if he has enough to defend it. Looks like he's worried about a drop in the main. Yes, there is one coming, but he will have enough to defend that Colossus there as well. And Blink Stalkers. Blink, although, is just being produced now. We have a small scrap outside of the 3rd. And the Raven gets way ahead of himself there. Is fighting, gets picked off. But unfortunately, there's only Blink Stalkers here. The Colossus needs to get over here to help this army out. Stalkers doing the best they can, but that's 2 tanks here. And they're going to pick off one of the tanks. Looks like it will be enough here. Nice engagement for Sonny. He can blink forward here, get that last medevac. Nicely done. Well defended there. Psych is still sticking to 2 bases here. He's got the 3rd base building, but Sonny is at a pretty significant economical advantage here. So this is the fact that Sonny held that fight means now he's in a very good position. We've got a double drop loaded up and going to the main though. And Sonny's army is all the way down to the third. That could be in a position to get quite a bit of damage. We have a warp in there, though. Did he have any vision of that? Just expected it, I guess, which is a strong move. By the way, upgrades are +1 for Psych, for Sonny, and +1/+1 for Psych. Psych's army is actually really split up here. Okay, big drop going into the main. There's a Colossus there, and a lot of charge lots. And I thought he might have been able to actually fight that. But going to pick off and leave. Meanwhile, there is an army of Psych going into the third. There's one Colossus there as well. We've got more disruptors, more upgrades being produced here for Sonny. Third base going down here for Psyche. He's trying to stabilize, but Sonny's in a pretty decent position. Psyche has an army supply lead, but he continues to engage with this army separated. And as the Colossus count continues to climb, Sonny's army becomes extremely cost efficient. We've got another drop attempting to go into the natural. Oh, there is quite a lot there, and there's Blink Stalkers. They get one of the medevac, fortunately for Psych, not the one that was full. And this Chop Venus is getting worse. I'll have to ask. I keep forgetting to ask the players about it. Hopefully it is nothing. We've got a War Prism here from Sonny, tucked in to the behind the third base here. That could be really strong if he gets a warp in of Zealots while the army of Psych is engaging. So gonna have a warp in here shortly, and meanwhile Sonny's trying to fight. Takes some brutal Widowmine hits though. This Gateway army is super squishy. He needs to not engage with that. So this is a pretty strong concave, I think, from Psych. He needs to just bide his time here. Zealots being warped in though, we'll have to Psych will have to move some army back to respond to this while the engage is going on. Here's the thing though, Psych's army is stronger, and he's going to lose both of these Colossus to these Viking volleys. Now he only has Blink Stalkers. I think this was a big mistake from Sonny moving in before he had a lot of army. Although there's not Psych choosing to not really want to address that drop in the main at all. And now it's just Stalkers here, but there are some shield batteries that can help tank this position. Zealots going unchecked in the main, doing a lot of damage there. But the problem with Psych moving cross map is that Sonny can continue to warp in units, and now Psych has to deal with this force in the main. Although there wasn't much mining there, so not a huge loss for Psych. Still though, I believe he got an armory. I'm not sure if that was researching something. We'll have to cancel. Okay, +2 completed. So overall, though, a lot of damage was done to Psych's main, and quite a bit of workers. Okay, 16 probes just went down. This is great for Psych. I'm going to put him on parity now. Although even with killing 16 workers, I was mistaken. Not on parity at all. He's down about 10. And we've got DTs being dropped down here. There are no turrets. No real detection. He lost the Raven earlier. He's going to have to scan. But CC's look pretty low mana. So actually, if he's not prioritizing where he scans, it's going to get bad for him. Got a DT in the natural wreaking havoc. He does get a lot of damage done. 13 workers killed here. He's down to about 30 workers. This is really bad. Meanwhile, Sonny has expanded to a 4th, starting to get an economy up now. I think Sonny starting to get a pretty sizable lead. Psych really struggling to establish a 3-base economy here. His natural is basically mined out. He's going to have to expand to a 4th here very soon. His army supply throughout this whole game has been impressive, but every time he moves across map, he's attacking into cannons, into shield batteries, also into warp-in reinforcements, so it kind of isn't giving him the best advantage with his army supply. And I really like this from Psych. Gonna snipe this 4th and potentially 3rd, and I think Sonny should pull back here. Might just try to go for the kill. because this fourth is going to go down, and this third very likely as well. This is going to get very awkward here shortly. Third's going down in a lot of the SAVs. Basically, Psych's economy is now non-existent. But the problem is Psych's going to lose 2 fully mining bases here. And he doesn't have very much of a bank as well. So this is going to get base traded here. Pretty much all the probes of Sonny are gone here. And everything of Psych's. Now, there's no CCs actually here for scans. There's no scans here, which means that basically this game is over because there's no detection here. So what an anticlimactic way to end. But all the nexuses are down, however, with no detection, and there's very few SCVs out in the map. This is going to be very rough for him. And actually now at this point, the army of Sonny is just straight up stronger than Psych's, so it doesn't really matter. Psych was able to sneak out 1 CC, and he will have 1 scan now. Maybe 2. So he's got to use those wisely. And cleaning up these DTs here we go. That's big. So the main's going down. The issue is that Sonny's army is just better, so Psych's gonna try to engage this, I guess, the best way he can. He's continuing to pick off probes though, and sniping this CC, this Nexus, means that now there's no way for Sonny to rebuild. He's gonna get the probes. How many workers remain? Only 5. It looks like they're scattered across the map. No minerals for Sonny to rebuild anything here. So this game's could be a giant game of cat and mouse here for Psych. And he's going to try to see how much he can get done. Problem is, he can't actually engage this army. And Psych does actually have a CC with a viable enough minerals to build a worker, so he's technically not dead. So I guess Psych can win this or draw the game because there's no air. So I guess this will be a draw. Okay. Alright, so we're going to have a draw here, guys. I think if Sonny would have just recalled at a certain point and just went for the army, then Psych wouldn't have been able to do that. But tough. Yeah, tough. That was quite a tense game. Okay. All right, so we got a draw. That's the first time that a draw has occurred in a show match that I've casted. I've seen draws before, but not when in a show match we'd be casting. So we are going to redo that map. But before we do that, guys, I want to thank our sponsors for this match. We have several sponsors, and one of them is GameStop. GameStop has been really active in the esports community, guys, giving out sponsorships, helping players. GameStop's motto has been giving power to the players, and now they're bringing it specifically to esports players. GameStop has a new program which features coaching and more from the world's most prominent teams and players. GameStop is getting involved in esports in a big way, guys, and what they're doing is really cool for the community. So be sure to visit their website through the Matcherino quest, which I will link right now. And type that out. Be sure to check them out and visit their website. All right, so thank you to GameStop for sponsoring this show match. And already, it's back into in-game mode. All right, so it looks like Psych called for a 2-minute break. Yes, Nemesis. This is he, the man famed in Legends, the burnout CTL captain. Hope you had a great weekend, Nemesis. I guess now it is Monday for you. Monday morning. Eating sushi on the Singapore time. So pretty crazy game. Got a draw and got another Port Alexander match. I really feel like Sonny, that was Sonny's game to lose at a certain point. The Army supply was, it feels dumb to say, but the Army supply may have been a bit misleading, but because Psych made several cross-map attacks that weren't super effective. Yes, it was a draw. Essentially, Psych had a air unit, had an air building rather that was floating, and he was able to kill Sonny's infrastructure, so he could not build. He didn't have any air units. Doing some customs domestic, cool. Domestic's doing great. The CTL All-Star. And it looks okay. Holidays, cool. You have a holiday. Next Monday is a holiday for us in the U.S., which is cool. Looking forward to that. Memorial Day is a big. Basically means for me running around in the woods, playing paintball with friends, as we do on Memorial Day, and eating too much grilled meat. It's not. Oh, this is not game 1. This is game 3. This is game 3 2.0. All right, in the top corner of Port Alexander, again, we have the blue Protoss, Sonny. And at the bottom, we have the orange Terran, Psych. Coincidentally, Psych was a pretty funny TV show. I don't know when it was airing, but we had the DVDs of the TV series. Was a pretty funny, not a sitcom, sort of a crime TV show. And, like we said, Sykes did do something funny in game number 2, so we've got that. Sure, Sonny, all throughout this game is going to be super attentive for drops and things of that nature. Not going to want to make the same mistakes twice in one series. Oh, cool! You like Psych 2? Awesome. Yeah, I heard something about the movie. It's cool. It looks so much older now. It's funny. I honestly don't even remember in my brain like what time period Psych was in. Was it late 2000s or early 2010s? I'm not sure. We've got the probe here of Psych. Sorry, Sonny. Being pesky again. Almost got that SCV. It almost got a delay on the CC, but not. No Seagar on that one. We had Zealot first, interestingly enough. Did he think there was a proxy? I'm a little confused because why is he supply capped? Maybe he just missed a pylon. And now this Reaper is going to get in here with a lot of time to kill probes. He's going to get 2 probes, I think, before that Stalker comes out. Sporfing just down maybe 3 if he's lucky. This is very unfortunate from Sonny. I'm not sure how much of that was the supply cap, how much that was going for the Zealot. So he went for the Zealot, I think, because he saw how much low health there was on that SCV building the CC and wanted to delay that. But this is 5 probes going down. Not sure if that's worth it. This is Marines versus Zealot as well. And this isn't Brood War, so these Marines can micro against this Zealot quite easily. So we do have three SCVs going down. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's 2 more workers killed for Psych for a delay on the CC. So, I'm not sure. Okay, Psych. Snoopy dropping the knowledge his Psych was from 2006 2014. Okay. So I guess it encompassed both those times. We got Enki in the chat. Hope you've been having a great day, man. Thank you for watching. Chatting up Vindicta. Looks like they are Hablemos and Espanol. I don't know how to conjugate verbs in Spanish, so... Actually, I just kind of... I give up remembering how to conjugate them, so... a lot of times when I'm speaking really rough Spanish, I'll just sort of give the unconjugated form of the verb. Sniper. This is going to be tough to decide. So, Psych has a 2-game lead here, but I do think that Sonny, those wins, one of them was a unfortunate mistake, and the other was a pretty cheesy build, so I haven't seen anything definitive, and I like Sonny's chances in the macro game. I'll say that. Good. I sing here with. Okay, I'm not even gonna try to read what that says. We've got another disruptor drop, guys. That whiffed very hard on that mineral line. And Colossus. You know what's funny? What happened last game, which I almost... Okay, now it looks like Sonny's going to be prepared for this Widow Mine drop. Still might lose a Stalker. Okay, no dice on that. Gonna lose 2 probes and just decide to kill them that way. Last game, I forgot what Colossuses are called. That happened, so... And it was super weird. Third base is up. Completed. So third of Psych has been a bit delayed in these games. Thank you, Enki. I want to do some more casting with the co-caster. I've been casting solo recently more. Doing some of these show matches, getting back into it over the last month or so. Because prior to that time, haven't done a lot of casting for Alpha X. Used to do a lot more back when I would do more things with Alpha X, but do enjoy always casting these games, especially this one, Psych vs. Sonny. This is very high level, and also 2 guys that I've known for a long time who are just veterans of Alpha X, reliable, solid guys. So thank you, Enki. Alright, we got the War Prism, gonna warp in some Zealots here. Charge is completed, no? Yes, not completed. Only Blink, which is not even completed, so just gonna be annoying with these Zealots. Delay the 3rd CC, that's probably one of the most effective SCV kills we could have gotten from that fight. And Enki from Mexico. Awesome, man. So Psych has been doing this play with the Raven, and not sure how effective it's been. I'm surprised that he hasn't tried to do a little bit more of auto turret, harass. But deciding just to mainly use it for the disruption. Phoenix, hallucinated Phoenix, just using to poke around, see where the army's at. Nice touch from Sonny. We've got a drop coming in here though, and it looks like it missed the web of auto detection that Sonny has here. So this is going to be quite bad for him. He's unloading in the main before leaving, and now Sonny's gonna have to book up there because this is gonna do serious damage. Which plus is gonna pop here. Okay, it's not gonna pop. That's actually might be fortunate for Sonny because that would have gotten done down very quickly. Probes pulled now, and Sonny gonna have to scramble to defend both his third and the natural and the main. This is exactly what happened in game 1. Stalker's moving in a file. This is an absolutely horrible place to engage into, Sonny. Okay, not too bad. Once the Colossus series good. Engagement at the third, though, going equally bad for Sonny. Lost everything there. We've got a 44 worker saturation at that base. There's nowhere to put the probes. Sonny's dying here. The tank's sieging up, and yeah, there's actually nothing here for Sonny. Sonny GG's. Man. It all happened so fast. Terran overpowered. Drops overpowered, guys. So, because drops are OP, Psych won that game. Sorry if it sounds like I'm biased towards Sonny, but I was hoping that we'd have a closer match. But all respect to Psych. He's a beast. He's been so for forever. So I hope he's a beast. And it looks like basically I have to switch the overlay back anyway. So I don't even know why I even move it over in between games. All right, we are going into game number 4. Nice one, Snoopy. So, game number 4. This is match point for Sonny. His hands are sweaty. Knees weak. Arms are heavy. Vomit on his sweater. He's nervous. All right. Psych, the dominant Terran, hailing from the far northern western reaches of the United States of America. He is the boss, the Orange Terran. It is Psych. And in the bottom corner, we have the blue man defending all that is noble and pure in StarCraft, aka the Protoss race. It is Sonny. Sonny and Sushi definitely practice a ton together. Used to, or still do, but used to see them in voice chats together a ton. Sushi was quite happy when he suggested Sonny. And the workers actually just run through each other. I guess one of them was rallied to... I guess I'm not sure if the mechanic works that if the workers bump into each other, it means that they are moving, or if there's a... Anyways, before we get into the UI of this, it looks like Psych is successfully going to delay this Nexus for maybe half a second, so no real substantial delay. Yes, Psych is OP indeed, Enki. Unfortunately for Protoss fans around the world. And what in the world? Why is this Cybercore placed here? I'm just kind of curious. Okay, for the Reaper, duh. I was confused for a second. It's like, why wouldn't you want to make a wall then? Oh, right, because of the Reaper. Okay. Psych, dedicated to not leaving one man behind, is moving that SCV back all the way, moving it back home the long way. Got Robo again, so are we going to see some cheesy play? Man, this viewer count is going seesawing. It was 18 to 10 to 18 to 10. I don't know why. Is it my voice, guys? Creating nails on a chalkboard or something. Anyways. These guys do not care about the view count. They always put on a good show. So, as I was thinking, will we see another War Prism style play from Sonny? The first time he did it, it was quite successful, got quite a number of SCVs, but now that Psych is aware that that's happening, I don't think we're going to see it a lot, or we're going to just see it a lot. We're going to see it do a lot of damage. So, yeah. It's a tough choice for Sonny. Almost thought that was a Dark Shrine for a second. War Prism moving out here. There is no... Yeah, no... There's the Robotics Bay. But it looks like Sonny wants to put on some pressure with the Stalkers. I like this a lot. He hasn't done really any early aggression towards Psych. He's allowed Psych to get comfortable, which I don't like. Psych's producing this Viking here because he feels like the Disruptor's coming, but that Viking's going to be pretty much useless against this force, unless he lands it. He's going to land it there, but good luck with getting anything done with that. And this is great damage. He's not mining here. He's going to have to... He's put in an awkward position. The Stalkers aren't going to be able to get a ton done. He's going to have to repair that CC. So really great damage being done here from Sonny. There's no blink here, so... There's not a ton that these Stalkers can do. But they've already... This is already great damage that they're doing. There's not tons that the Stalkers can do beyond this. But still, solid damage. Did we see a recall? Am I crazy, or did we get a recall? We got a recall of one Stalker. Okay. Okay, missed this. Looks like the War Prism is up here in the main. Was it trying to Zealot Bomb on the tanks? Either way, with the amount of tanks that are here, he's going to have to fall back. And the one, it looks like the one Stalker was maybe to try to deter the Vikings, but that's not going to be enough here. Landed Vikings are pretty bad, but you need more than one Stalker. And one slow Zealot, I'm not sure about that either. Colossus is going to be out here momentarily, though. And with a bunch of probes. Ooh, clutch Viking pull. This is top tier plays from Psych. War Prism going in here again. There's no charge. There's not a ton of gates, so there's not a crazy ton he can do. But still some nice damage. Worker pulls a worker here and there. Killed. I like that Sonny's being more aggressive in this game. We see the army count pretty equal. The worker count pretty equal. So I think this is quite a standard game. The first Colossus is out. The symbol of Protoss purity. Third CC going down for Psych. A little bit earlier this game, I think, than last game, which is good. So Sonny's continuing to do this kind of, I mean, dare I say, old school Blink Colossus style. You know, not really into the really charge heavy type builds. This is I could be totally out of my mind here, but kind of the older style of Blink Stalkers with Colossus, with Storm mixed in later as being kind of the bread and butter Protoss versus the really charged Archon heavy type style plays that we see a lot now. Archon, charge a lot, Immortal type stuff with Storm mixed in. It's like he's doing this very Marine tank heavy style, which is quite strong at first. So I really feel like Sonny is very fragile in the early stages of the game versus this. When his army count's pretty low, he's got a lot of Stalker Sentry. I mean, let's not mince words here. This is a very squishy army compared to what Psych has. But once he gets going, and there's a lot of Blink Stalkers, and there's 3-4 Colossus, it's quite strong. But at this stage, like, oh no, please, Sonny. He can't really aggressively engage with this. There's just not enough here. He needs more gates, honestly. I don't know why this Colossus is here. Maybe he's afraid of a drop. But he can't engage here without one of his Colossuses. This next Colossus is making use of the range. That's strong play there from Sonny. And I'd like to see a few more shield batteries here. Defending this third is going to be critical. So defending it is paramount. Blink just now finishing. It's got to be a mistake here. But Sonny, what are you doing with these just few units here? He's gonna have to, I think he's gonna lose this base if he's not careful. He's already putting down a fourth base though, but really he can't afford to idle this army here in the main. Yes, worried about a drop, but move one Stalker out to here so you see a drop coming. Don't move a significant chunk of your army there. The Vikings are here now, so they're gonna start pestering this force of Colossus. Some good force fields, so the bio is getting attacked pretty well. But those tanks are just providing insanely good range here. The rest of the army is coming, so now this is a decent force. He's charging forward. He's getting a lot of bios. This is a good play from Sonny. And now there's 3 Colossus. Now there's quite a bit of damage that can be done. Great engagement so far from Sonny. He waited to attack before he pulled up the army from his main, which is a strong choice. The problem is here, he cannot afford to lose these Colossus here. He's lost one. He cannot lose the second one. Losing Colossus in this type of style of play is so detrimental. Fourth base is up though from Sonny, which I really like. Expanding before you need to expand. So, strong play from him. With the consistent Colossus production. I really would like to see, though, some other form of tech choice from Sonny, whether it's Storm or more charge lots here. I'd like to see that because this army is still super fragile. Once a lot of Vikings get out, this army is going to be very weak. And it's actually amazing to me that he's doing this right now. Now he's going to lose these Colossus, which I really don't like. But he's getting some damage done to these SCVs. The question is losing 2 Colossus worth some SCVs? And I don't know. The army of Psych has been reset though, so there's no tanks and there's not a lot of bio out. And Psych's economy is really thin, so I think Sonny knows what he's doing. That was a good trade. Losing 2 Colossus never feels good, but when Psych's economy is as fragile as it is, then losing 8 workers can be quite huge. So Sonny's a full base ahead of Psych here, and that's been a consistent theme. Even when Psych's won, the economy of Sonny has been much stronger. And the army is pretty close here. We got about 10 difference, which is less than it's been for a lot of points of engagement in the series. We finally have charge coming in. What are the upgrades like? Only +1. We We have a double forge. We have a single forge. Okay. I think he can probably afford a double forge in the main. We also have Sonny here moving out some feeler units. I really like this. At this point in the game, one of the ways that Psych could come back is to land a really, really impressive drop in the main or something, especially with as the army of Sonny starts to get spread, covering a lot of different bases. Drops are going to be Psych's ticket back into the game. Medevac count is quite low. There's a lot of Vikings here with this army, though, so Sonny's got to keep tabs on how many volleys those Vikings are getting off. And Psych's army, there's not a lot of tanks here. He's not going to really be able to siege up, but setting up shop in this area is quite strong because it's going to sandwich Sonny between those two bases. So here's the thing. The Colossus are already down. Is he going to lose that last one? And meanwhile, this fourth is getting hammered. He's going to be able to take that out very easily with Stem. Not going to lose too many probes, I think. But still, 2 Colossus in a base for minimal army losses. That's a pretty good trade. And meanwhile, this Stem Biostream insanely good. Again, there's no splash here, which I don't like, besides from the Disruptor, which I'm not a huge fan of. But 1 or 2 storms in that engagement would be huge. I really want to see Storm here from Sonny. And now the base count is equalized. Sonny has been mining on that 3rd base for much longer too as well, keep in mind, so that's going to expire quicker for him. Luckily, a disaster averted there from the Widow Mines. I don't think there are any observers with his army. There's no observers built, so those Widow Mines could be pretty problematic. And there are the drops, and there is a spotter unit from Sonny out here. It is going to see them, yeah, it's going to see them graze the periphery for quite a long time. Yeah, he sees this. He's moving units into position, moving stalkers up. Is he moving enough? Okay, he's warping in more units. I'd like to see even more stalkers being built, although he is afraid of the double-pronged attack. Psych is expanding to a 4th base while moving out with his army. Now, at this point, Psych has quite a significant army advantage lead. Those Colossus are going to start to become not completely dead weight, but with the Viking count the way it is, they're going to start to be very ineffective. The army of Psych is attacking to snipe that 3rd. There isn't a ton left there, but still, I mean, there's enough where it's a significant. It's a problem here. Psych, Sonny rather, can't fight uphill in this position. He's losing his Vikings so quickly. I think the army composition here from Sonny just isn't enough to deal with this strong Bioforce. Unless you have a significant, you're on army parity, fighting from a pretty big disadvantage. It's GG, and Psych is going to take this series 4-0. There was a draw, so we did get 5 games. But wow, that's very surprising that we got a sweep. I was not expecting that at all. I mean, like I said before this, these players are literally 1 MMR point apart. So that's surprising that it was a sweep. But just goes to show you how strong Psych is. So thank you to both of these players for playing. It was a lot of fun to cast, and I hope that we will get another series soon. That's quite entertaining. I am continuing to cast these just informal best of 7s. I hope to do at least a few a month. We'll see how June pans out for me. June's pretty busy, but this is the 2nd one I've done this month. Maybe I'll do one at the end of May. We'll see. But anyways, guys, I'm going to thank our sponsors for this event one last time before you guys go and watch if Game of Thrones isn't over yet. So, again, guys, GameStop. I don't know about you guys, but GameStop did very palpable in my memory as the place to go at the mall when you're looking for new games, new experiences, and GameStop has always given power to the players. They do that by bringing it through coaching all to the world's most prominent teams and players, supporting them. And now, guys, they're focusing on giving back to esports, which is really cool. Always looking for new companies that are interested in investing in esports and growing that pool. Esports is a big emerging industry, and the fact that these companies are signing on means a lot to the community. And this is a grassroots way that GameStop is giving back to esports. We thank GameStop for doing this. So visit GameStop's website through the Matcherino Quest, which I am linking right now in chat. Oops, I misspelled it. There we go. So thank you to them. Use that code, guys, if you have not already. And be sure to give GameStop a visit. They're a great company, and thank you to them for sponsoring this show match. Psych just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, man. Long time to see. Thank you, Romsley. Hope all of you enjoyed the casting, enjoyed the series. I was hoping for a little bit of a closer contested series, but it was still a lot of fun to watch. Okay. I'm going to head off, guys, but thank you all for watching, making this a really enjoyable cast. Hope everyone has a great weekend, a fantastic rest of the weekend, Memorial Day coming up next week. All right, I will see you all later. Take it easy, guys.